we'll be talking about the Ruger Blackhawk and 357 Magnum, 38 Special, and then also secondary cylinder so you can fire 9mm without the moon clips. We check to make sure the weapon is completely empty by opening the loading gate and rotating the cylinder. If there was a round in here, you just simply pull the lever back and we would eject the round or a spent casing. As we can tell, there is no rounds in here. The workbench is completely clear of all live ammunition. This Ruger Blackhawk is a single action, meaning you have to cock the hammer to be able to fire. It's not a double action like the Super Red Hawk that you can pull the trigger and it'll come back with the hammer. This one, for each round, you would have to pull back and then fire the trigger. This has an adjustable rear sight and a fixed front sight. We can remove the cylinder by pushing here, bringing the cylinder holding rod forward. The loading gate needs to be open and the cylinder comes straight out. Today we will be using the provided carbon destroyer and oil. We will be using OTIS pads. I have a cleaning rod, a brush, a sight to put in the chamber to check, and also, if needed, a longer cleaning cable, but mainly used on longer barrels or rifles. The cleaning rod should be fine. We also have a cleaning kit for any extra brushes, and then also some field Q-tips for cleaning other areas. So to check this barrel, we know it's empty. We can put in this sight and look down. You can see this barrel is pretty clean. I normally clean every one of my firearms right after I fire, or within 24 hours after I fire. But we will go ahead and clean this firearm again. Each cylinder, as you can see, still has some carbon residue on it. We will try to get that off. So let's get into it. Now normally I would have a little tray if I was taking apart an AR-15 or something that has slightly more parts to it, but this is all you're going to break down when you're field stripping a Ruger Blackhawk. So right here you got the firing pin, you got the hammer, adjustable rear sight, fixed front sight. We've got the trigger, barrel, we have the cylinder retaining rod, then we have the casing ejector right here. We have the loading gate, and of course the cylinders. One reason I picked this Blackhawk was 357 is my most preferred round, and I can utilize 9mm Luger for practice to save some money. Also, all 357 Magnums can fire 38 specials. So let's get set up and we will start cleaning it. Utilizing the SDI Cleaning Firearm Lab, page 24, we will be cleaning this revolver per the steps provided. Now it's been a while since I've done a thorough deep clean on this, so we will be going a little further and taking off the grips so that way we can clean in the lower mechanisms. So one thing to note is with any wood parts on your firearm, you don't want to get any of the solvent on them or the carbon destroyer. It'll start tarnishing the wood. What I really like to do with my wood is get some nice extra virgin olive oil and put a little coat on it, and it absorbs into the wood and keeps it nice. That could be just because that's what my grandfather did, but I've always been told by older individuals it always kept their firearms looking good for a long time, so keeping that tradition alive. So right here you can see we have the hammer spring. This is as far as I'm going to take this firearm down for this video. I'm going to put these smaller bits for the handle in a small container. See, there's a little bit of a metal shaving in there. This gun is less than a year old, so this could be for manufacturing. That just looks like a milling shaving. Nothing to be concerned about, but it's good I found it to remove it from the spring area before any damage was caused. So, to show you, the way you can tell these two cylinders apart is inside each one of these chamber, there's a spot for the 9mm case to headspace on, where the 38 Special and the 357 Magnum rim will just fit directly in headspace against the back of the cylinder. Okay, we now have it back in. Check. Make sure it's still clear. I'm not going to do a full dry fire because I don't want to damage the firing pin. You can see the spring is all the way constricted. Just be careful when you're pulling the trigger. You don't want to get your fingers smashed up in that. One thing I like to do is I have a dedicated rag that I keep that's oiled. I'll apply a couple extra drops, then just put a light coat over the firearm. It'll also take off any excess oil, but that way this dedicated rag is always oiled for me. If I need to pull a gun out that I haven't fired in a while, I can always just do a quick wipe down, make sure everything's good on it. Now, to put this, to rotate the cylinder, it has to be in the half-cocked position. It's not like in the movies where you can just roll this. Unless it's in the half-cocked, it won't roll. As you can see, it's in the full-cocked. Okay, half-cocked position. Okay, I'll be right back to oil up the hand guards. So like I was saying, just extra virgin olive oil, nothing special, the same stuff we cook with. This is from Costco. It's what my grandpa used on his pipes and all of the wood that he had. So that's how I was taught. There could be a lot of butter stuff right there, but old saying, keep it simple, stupid. Then we just put a light coat. It's really good on hydrating the wood and protecting it. Gives it a nice polish. Just a little bead on a piece of paper towel. That's all I did. Again, that's how my grandpa did it. It's probably how his grandpa did it. Except his might have used vegetable oil or some other kind of oil, but it's how I was taught. And it works for me. All my guns, I do this. Just use dry paper towel to wipe off any excess. You can see how shiny they've gotten just from that. Plus, olive oil is a nice preservative. Touching against the metal will work well. Okay, now we're going to put this back together. We got our two screws. Got one screw there. Got our other one on this side. Get the first side in. Snap somewhat into place. Get the next side in. We'll start threading our screw. Grab a good screwdriver. Alright, you don't want to torque it down too much because you are going against wood. There's some metal sleeves in there, but still. So that's the gun completely put back together after field stripping.